Hello and welcome to the Hacktivist. I'm Kevin Tame and today we're going to be watching the Stim Hack Online Cash Refresh Tournament. This is the fourth tournament like this, and this is round number 2 and Internet Potato versus presheaf. I actually don't know how to say that. I apologize. Presheaf. We'll go with that. But we're going to be jumping right in here into this match, and this should be a good one. Looks like they got a password on this, so let me get this from them. Okay, so we are ready to roll. Okay, so here we are. So I'm going to call him P, or Pre, I'll call him Pre, is on CI. It looks like he is, I'm unsure what type of CI this is right now. Um, oh, a brain rewiring. So he might be trying to kill him. It might be like a brain rewiring combo with maybe punitive, because I think that's the only viable kill option. Because you don't have show of force. This is really interesting. I wonder how this is going to go. This turn 1 indexing can be really problematic for Pre. Efficiency Committee. Oh, looks like maybe he goes for the neural kill. So I guess maybe it's like a brain rewiring with neural EMP. That is interesting. Well, I guess what you can do here is you can click up MCA austerity, and then with MCA austerity, you get a bunch of clicks so you can score the brain rewiring, and then you get an opportunity to neural EMP them at the same time. That's really, I hadn't thought of that. I think Internet Potato here, what he needs to do is, just kind of keep pressuring HQ, and hopefully that he can sneak off some of these agendas. But Pre might be on a punitive plan, so stealing that Ikawa can be really painful for him. This is great. You're right, Justin. I'm glad I am seeing this type of build because I myself am on CI, and now this gives me an opportunity to have another type of CI deck that I can play. I'm actually glad I'm seeing this. Because right now I have a asset spam version, I have a glacier version, and now I can possibly have a kill version. Friends for life, BFF. I think Doug is in a good place here. And the thing, because Doug is on Inversificator, and I imagine this is going to be good for him because what this gives him is that he can move the ice to where he needs. Because I imagine there's not a lot of ice in this deck. Eli for Inversificator is going to be, let's see, Inversificator I think is strength 2, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you want them to not draw. I think he gets that HQI down and starts pressuring. Whoa, we got a signal jamming here on Pre's end. Cards cannot be installed until the end of the run. Use this ability only during a run on the server. Interesting. I think what Doug is really looking for here now is he's looking for his Inversificator, because that's what he really needs to be able to start, pressuring. But I think this is like a common shaper thing, is oftentimes you want to get set up and you don't poke HQ when it would be really beneficial to you. Yeah, SMC would be another thing that he's probably digging for. It looks like he knew he was playing against CI, so he has Parisia. And I know he had put a few Parisias in here because he thought he might be playing a spam deck. So this is now online, I think, I'm assuming, because he's got double neural. He has got the brain rewiring. Oh, I think Doug's going to die here. Because if you think about it, he's got... Doug really needs to steal the... Oh, the brain rewiring was a good one to steal. He needs to steal another one of those, actually, because he's going to get how many counters? He's going to get 6 clicks. He can install advance, advance. Yeah, I think Doug's dead here. Right? Am I wrong? No, I think he is, because like you can click it, shipment, or mirror morph. You don't even need to mirror morph. I guess you could. Calibration testing, right? Yeah, but he just neurals him. Wow. Brain rewiring in cache refresh, guys. That is nasty. Whew. So it exists. Brain rewiring. I think though, like, if you know the person's on brain rewiring, you can actually probably deal with it. A feedback filter does a lot, right? Because then they can't neural you. And then the other thing too is, I guess the only other punishment is punitive, but that costs a lot of money. And oftentimes when you do these brain rewiring combos, you need like biotics and a lot of money. Yes, Laura, this is good to know that it exists, and I might play it against you, so be careful. Well, let's go get in this next one. The funny thing is Doug was asking me about like how to beat CI, and I was like, there might be a brain rewiring one out there, so you might want to put I think I said biometric spoofing, but I didn't think it was actually viable. So Doug's deck here is a pretty classic Ag Infusion deck. I have seen this one. What he's going to be trying to do is kind of chain the Niseis together, using and then building a remote with Kakugo and DNA tracker. It's a pretty powerful combo, obviously, because if you can get this really kind of nasty remote, and then what you do is you obviously can use the ability, and then having the Nisei counter, it really becomes difficult for the runner to be able to steal Obokata. Now, looking here, it looks like he is on, Pre is on Gordian. He has a biometric spoofing, which is going to be useful. So he has an Opus build here, so he's just going to be trying to make a lot of money. I think Doug is probably considering here he wants to get this Nisei out quick. It looks, oh, that's a good play right there to kind of blind install the Brain Trust. The problem here though is that he can't really afford to res the data loop. But Pre doesn't bite, and so that's a good opportunity for Doug to be able to score here. So the server right now has Data Loop, Miraju, Enigma, and Kakugo. What you really want to do is you want to get Koma Inu or something like that on your central so that you can pop them into something that's really expensive. There's not really great breakers that break all subs. I guess like there's Fairy. So what happens a lot of times you can tax the runner out with Koma Inu because every time you push them into it, they have to pay however many in their hand, and usually what they're doing is they're drawing a bunch because they want to be able to steal the Obokata, so they have to pay like 6 or 7. Ooh, the source, spicy. That's a little unfortunate for Doug here. He really does want to score this turn, and I'm not exactly sure if he has shipments in this deck. I think what he's thinking about here is like he doesn't really have the money. His opponent's going to be able to come in and steal it. So it's a does he put another piece of ice over that server maybe? I think he wants to use Miraju to bump them, but the problem is bumping them right now, there is nothing for them to run into, and that's what you really want. You want them to hit something that's taxing. And Data Loop doesn't really... I guess what you do is actually probably res the Miraju and then res the Data Loop, and then they use Kit's ability is used at that point on the Miraju. So you would have to have, looks like, would have to have like an NT or something like that. I think for me, what I would probably do is I would take 2 credits and advance it one more time. Doug goes ahead and draws. I don't know if that was the best play. I guess your foes. I mean, I would have over advanced this one more time. I think he's feeling though it might be a lost cause and he doesn't want to invest more into it. But I think in this situation it might have been better because his opponent would have had to have had an answer. They do have SMC, but getting an SMC down and getting an NT and then breaking Data Loop is pretty expensive for them. So they might not do that. Especially with Nanotech in their hand, because that's their one answer for centuries, and so that's probably likely. I don't think they could probably get in, but I think it might be too expensive for them. But now they're in a situation where they can install the Nanotech and be able to set up. Well, this keeps him out here. I think he has to res Miraju and he has to... That's true. SMC is 2MU, and that's probably the problem. He doesn't have a console out. But I think what he does here is he has to res this, because if he reses it, see, now he can break this with, oh, he's just going to let it because it's too much of a hit for him to res this stuff. He doesn't want to go down that low, which makes sense. And it clears off the source, which is actually pretty good for him. So it gives him a window to be able to score. So I think if Doug can get his economy under control, a good play might be to, fast track out a Nisei. Yeah, Justin, I see you said that. Just give it up to get rid of the source. I think that's a good call. These kit decks do have limited influence, and so we haven't seen any except the source. That might be his primary way he's using his influence. Personally, I don't know if I'd draw. I would want to just credit up, but I guess he's probably looking for some economy. And I think that's a good call. Getting Mirage down, it protects you from the indexing. That's a big threat in the cache refresh. So Mirage is actually really good for this. Yeah, I think that's right. Not resing that seems to be the right call. I think Doug right now is just in has money issues right now, so he needs to really just start getting. I think he just click up or something. Unfortunately, none of Doug's outside centrals have the Komainu that he really needs res to keep pushing his opponent into that, and he's drawing ice. I think the problem here, though, is that it looks like this Shaper deck is a little bit more of a control deck, so rushing is probably to Doug's advantage. Because I don't think he can win he might not be able to win the long game. We also don't know what Pre is on here. Oh, there's on Opus. So he does run out of deck. That's a good thing. I sometimes think Enigma is a liability. Oh, that's only with Inversificator. So here it's not too bad. I think it's a good enough tax. But Doug just doesn't have the money to res it. That was unfortunate for Doug. So he's going for the hide in the Nisei. He needs to find a genotyping to be able to shuffle that back in. Otherwise, he runs the risk of losing here. Ooh, the source. Another source. And this Maxwell James. So Maxwell James is going to be really good against this deck because it allows you to de-res like the data loop, which is just going to be brutal. Maxwell James is unique, so that's good at least. think Doug needs to draw and try and, yeah, he needs to play that genotyping to get that Nisei out of there. Yeah, you don't. I think the thing is, a lot of times people jack out against Jinteki because they're afraid of breach domes. So it's actually a pretty safe place to be able to store agendas. I find keeping an Obokata there with a bunch of breach domes is usually pretty safe. Not in this situation though, because it's the end of the game, and obviously they can steal the agenda first, so it's not as taxing for them. So we got a Kakugo, Data Loop, Miraju, and Data Loop. This is actually pretty nice for Doug because what this does is he's able to send them through the Kakugo and the Data Loop, and then push them back out, and then they have to keep going through it. So it gives them an opportunity to be able to score Obokata. But this source is a real problem. Because it's really locking him out. And it looks like Pre would, I mean, he's just going to sit here and camp until he has an opportunity to get through that remote. So Doug's going to try and bait him by putting in the breach dome. I think that's kind of like an act of desperation at this point. He needs to try and get him to run this server. Yeah, you guys are both saying the exact same thing, Laura and Justin. It's like, it's really hard to bait. It'd be nice if, I guess, if you had a June bug or something like that. Yeah, I think Doug not seeing his economy early really hurt him. He wasn't able to. Oh, and that source actually really hurt him because that really set him back. He probably would have had the opportunity to score that Nisei, but this is what really set him back. So Doug's just going for it. He's like, let's just get this over. He's got to advance it, right? Oh, he doesn't go for it. He puts the snare out there, still trying to bait him. But I don't think he's going to bite. Doesn't seem like, with the source out, there's no reason to, right? That was a great thing for him to lose, actually, was the feedback filter. Because what this can come down, if you can grind him down. Yep, I think Doug goes for it. What's actually, though, with Kit's ability here, let's see what he's got. He's got Enigma, Kakugo. He might actually be able to score this here. Miraju. Because his opponent has to go, if he wants to use Maxwell James, which he probably does, he needs to go hit HQ. Is that what it is? Derez a piece of ice, protecting a remote server. Use this ability only after a successful run on HQ. So I think Doug, or maybe even push him. Oh, but you want to push. You want to use your push ability off the remote. So basically, he's just going to tax him here a little bit. But that's nice because now Kit's ability is automatically used, right? Yep, the first time you encounter. This is going to cost Doug quite a bit to do this, though. And this server is very expensive for Doug. Doesn't look like he's going to go for it. So that opens up a window for Doug, which is great. Clears off the source. And if Doug can find an Obokata here, I think it's actually a really good time for him to jam. I think Pre, what he wants to do is I think he wants to what was really good was that Pre for Doug that he lost his feedback filter, because that's how you get through Kakugo, is like you just have the money. I think is actually that was if Doug can find an Obokata with him only having 2 cards, that's a real problem. Like this is perfect time. Oh, it's 1 draw too late. If you'd gotten that 1 draw sooner, it would have been better, because you really want to start your turn with 5 in hand in order to be able to steal with data loop and whatnot. Actually, let's see the money situation here. So this is going to cost him 14. He's not going to be able to raise. I think Pre, what he really wants to do here is he wants to draw up to 5. You want to be ready to move on your next turn. This is a little too expensive for Doug to res. Because he needs to be able to get data loop up. Miraju he can use to push. Kakugo, that's 7 and 4. That's 11. Plus 8, that's 19. And he needs 5. And one of these are going to get derezzed. Might be the right call. It's going to be really close. The question is, does he continue? If he continues and misses Obokata, I think he can lose. He'd lose the game next turn. And I think it's actually a mistake not to draw up, because Doug has an opportunity to res 2 data loops, and you can't steal Obokata. I think Doug has this. Let's see here. Because Kakugo is going to give him damage. Yeah, I think he can't, and he pushes him right into Toll Booth if he runs it early. The thing is if he pulls out a source here, that would be brutal. Yep, I think Doug can do this. Let's see, 7. The question, I think you maybe just res the data loops, because that makes him put 2 back, and he just doesn't have the cards to steal it. I mean, getting that Philotic off really helped Doug in this match, being able to score that. Yeah, I think he's got it too, Thomas. Like, I don't think there's a. Oh, the Diesel. Wow. He used same old thing. Oh man. Same old thing. Yeah, because he gets pushed no matter what. It doesn't matter, right? Yeah, I think Doug had him no matter what. He couldn't draw up enough cards. He couldn't get Maxwell James off. Yeah, I think he. Yeah, but the problem is Thomas is that he used same old thing to do it, so he doesn't have enough clicks. So he, I don't think he would have had. I don't think he would have won the game anyways, because he could have like he wouldn't have had enough cards if Doug had res both data loops, and it was too much money for him. It would have been 7, 8, 9 just to get in to HQ to use Maxwell James. Yeah, I think like it was unwinnable for Pre at that point. Very well played by both people. I was really surprised in that last match to see the brain rewiring combo get off, and then also Doug I think really played to his outs here, not having a lot of money and setting up this remote for the right opportunity. Also, just that chance of him being able to get this Volodikov really changed the outcome of this game for him. Um, well, anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and once again, really appreciate all of the support here with the Cash Refresh. I love having you guys as community members and to chat with, and having you guys all here on to watch. Um, so I'll check you guys later. And tonight, P.S. Doug and I are doing my coaching session. We're doing the Core 2.0 only stuff. So if you want to get on there and see Doug showing me how to play Gabe, NBN, and HB tonight, that'd be great. Cool. Well, hey, talk to you guys later. Bye.